Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at how to solve equations without finding x. And what we mean by that is that sometimes you're going to get a question like we have here and here, where you get provided with some information like a plus 2 equals 7, and they want you to go on to find another type of equation like 3a minus 12 without solving for a or x alone. Because we know in this example here that a plus 2 equals 7, the answer must be 5. 5 plus 2 equals 7. But the question is not asking us for us to just solve for a and then replace this a with 5. It wants us to use the fact that a plus 2 equals 7, not that a equals 5. So we have to use this whole expression to help us find what 3a minus 12 is. We can't simply replace a with 5. Okay, and the same thing goes over here. So let's look at how you would do these type of questions, which involve a different type of thinking. Okay, so if we have 3a minus 12, well, we first of all start off with a plus 2 equals 7. We know that for sure that a plus 2 equals 7. What we're trying to do the whole way through is we're trying to make this, we're going to make the changes to make it look exactly like 3a minus 12. Okay, so we're just going to work on one bit at a time. The first thing I'm going to do to a plus 2 equals 7, because I want to make it look identical to 3a minus 12, is I want this a to have a 3 before it. So what I'm going to have to do is I can't just add in a 3 on the a and do nothing to anything else. I'm going to times everything in this equation by 3. So I'm going to go 3 times a plus 2 would equal 3 times 7, because what you do to this side, you have to do to this side. And what I'm doing is I'm doing things to the whole side to make it look more like what we're trying to find, but I still want what I'm writing to be true. And I know that if a plus 2 equals 7, then 3 times a plus 2 must equal 3 times 7. Okay, because we know that a plus 2 here is 7. So 3 times a plus 2 is the same as 3 times 7. So nothing's actually changed. I've just written it in a different way so it looks more like this. Okay, so I'll move this out of the way. So we have 3a plus 2 equals 3 times 7. So I'll just expand the bracket now because I know this is all true, which is going to be 3a plus 6, because I've gone 3a plus 3 times 6 equals 21. Now, I made this equation different so I can make this look more like this line here. So it's 3a plus 6, not 3a minus 12. So we're almost there. The next thing I need to deal with is this term. So the first thing I did was I dealt with the 3, and now I'm going to deal with the number that's not quite the same. So 3a plus 6, I want it to look like 3a minus 12. So I've obviously got to take away the difference between these two numbers from both sides. So what's the difference here? Well, it's minus 18. Because if I go 3a plus 6 minus 18, that is going to give me 3a minus 12, because 6 minus 18 equals minus 12. But we'll keep going one step at a time. If I go on 3x plus 6 minus 18, I need to go 21 minus 18. So I'm going to get 3a minus 12 equals 3. So we get our answer of 3 here by first changing the equation that they gave us to make it look like 3 with the 3, and then I've changed the number after that. So our first step was to deal with the 3, so step A, and once I've done that, I've changed both sides here, and then I've dealt with the number next to it here, and I've taken away 18 from both sides. You keep doing what you change to both sides to manipulate this original equation to make it look like this so that we can get an answer on the other side without actually solving for a. Okay, so let's look at the second example. I know that 1 over x plus 1 equals 5. How do I find 1 over x minus 1? Well, what I want to do, again, I want to make this look like this. And then I'm going to change things on both sides until we have the side exactly like this so I can see what it equals on the other side. So I know that 1 over x plus 1 equals 5. but I want it to make it look like 1 over x minus 1. So I'm going to write 1 over x minus 1. And now that I've made it x minus 1, I need to make it be the same. I still need it to be the same as what it was. I'm just writing it in a different way. Well, x minus 1 plus 2 is exactly the same as x plus 1. 1 over x plus 1 equals 5. 1 over x minus 1 plus 2 still equals 5. Because I actually haven't changed anything. I've just written minus 1 plus 2, which we know is plus 1 anyway, so that I can kind of see what we're trying to get at here. I've kind of got this x minus 1 bit, and I'll put it in brackets. Okay, so what do I do next? Well, I only want to know what the x minus 1 bit is, and I've got this plus 2 hanging on the outside. So I'm going to times both sides by the denominator here. And you've got to be careful here. You've got to keep this bit in brackets because I want to keep the x minus 1 together. So let's times off both sides by this denominator. So up here I'm going to times by, and I'll do a bigger bracket around here because I'm keeping the x minus 1 together, plus 2, and we're going to times this up here as well. I won't write it out, but just times in both sides by this denominator, and these are going to cancel out because they cross cancel, and this side is going to multiply across here. So I get 1 equals 5, and I'm expanding the 5 with this bracket and then with the 2. So I'm going to get 5x minus 1, 5 times this bracket, which I'm keeping together. I'm not going to split it up because I want to know what x minus 1 is together, plus 10. Okay, great. Now I've got x minus 1. I'm going to hold that together, and I'm going to start getting everything else to the other side. So here I've got plus 10. I'm going to minus 10 from both sides. And here I'm going to minus 10. What's 1 minus 10? Minus 9, which equals 5x minus 1. We're almost there. Remember, I'm just trying to find 1 over x minus 1, so I need to get rid of this 5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by 5, because that's how I get rid of the 5 here. They cancel out, and I'll just move the next step over here, so we can see that x minus 1 equals minus 9 over 5. Therefore, 1 over x minus 1, 1 over x minus 1 must equal 1 over this fraction. So it's just flipped around. So it equals minus 5 over 9. Okay, so x minus 1 equals minus 9 over 5. Therefore, 1 over x minus 1 must equal that minus 9 over 5 flipped around to get minus 5 over 9.